everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Nick.
And you're listening to It Takes Two, the podcast where two people take two movies with the same plot or premise and watch and discuss them.
And in this episode, we're covering off 1998's Antz and 1998's A Bug's Life.
Yep, this is going to be a PG episode.
Yeah,
because Antz...
We'll try.
Antz is PG because of casual swearing and innuendo.
And we'll try and keep it PG because of the problematic actors in both these movies.
There are problematic actors in both these movies.
So if you want to parentally guide your child or younger individual to listening to this and discussing some subjects that may or may not turn up during this episode, parental guidance is advised.
Yes.
It's not the first time either of us has seen either of these movies.
Yeah, it's also not the first time we've covered one of these movies on the podcast.
That's true. We did cover A Bug's Life and Galaxy Quest during our one and only so far live stage performance of the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre because podcast came out of radio, so doing it live on stages.
I mean, lots of big popular podcasts do live shows.
It sort of is the opposite of why podcasts exist. The plot lines are very different.
There are definitely similarities.
There are definitely similarities. It definitely feels like two studios rushed to make a movie starring Antz as the main cast. I think Pixar had more of a well thought out plot line.
Yeah. Because they took the Seven Samurai
plot line. Yeah, exactly. It's because they stole
tried and tested.
They
Kurosawa.
stole a pre-existing good plot line. Antz is a very weird movie because there's so much going on and none of it feels cohesive. So you have Woody Allen's character, who is a problematic actor in this movie, doing therapy, and he's playing himself as an ant.
Yeah, essentially.
And his best friend is played by Stallone, who's a warrior ant, and he's like a worker ant. And then he decides that because he wants to switch places with his... Maybe that's what the buzzing was. Switch places with with his friend Stallone on the day, because there's a massive conspiracy from the general, who's the general of the army ants, who's going to marry the princess, to basically send all the troops that are loyal to the queen on the suicide mission so we can perform a coup and murder the queen, marry the princess, and take command of the colony by himself.
The reason that they switch places is because the queen or the princess pulls a Jasmine on it and pretends to be a commoner and goes to the bar and meets Woody Allen's aunt Z, and then when he finds out she's the princess, he wants to switch so that he can get an audience with the princess as a warrior ant. Yeah,
it's so weird.
And it happens to be the day they're sent out to war against termites.
Yeah.
And I think there was a quote from the filmmakers that any resemblances of that termite fighting scene to Starship Troopers are purely coincidental.
Yeah, sure. I believe you. But my Tommy gun doesn't. It's just so weird. The animation style, because they're both animated movies, it'd be weird if they'd done a Cats thing with it, but anyway, both animated movies, and the animation in Antz is awful, but not in a quality way, just in a design choice way.
Yes, this is, I think I took a note that right at the beginning where I was like, what I said is, I hate this stylization, but the animation has aged pretty well.
Yeah.
So I feel like because it's stylized, the animation has aged well, but I just don't like the style choices they made.
So Bugs Life, they don't look as nice as the new Pixar movies. The new Pixar movies are extremely crisp. They are gorgeous to look at. Don't get me wrong, A Bug's Life isn't ugly. It's just, we've come leaps and bounds in the last 28 years.
I mean,
it's like ridiculous.
They also knew that at the time. Like, there's a reason that the first two Pixar movies are about toys and insects.
Yeah.
Because those were things that were a lot easier to animate than people, and also wouldn't disturb people if they looked unrealistic, you know?
There's a lot of forgiveness when you make inanimate objects or anthropomorphized ants and other insects look weird. Like, there's nothing wrong with A Bug's Life. I feel like even the scenes, like the actual world environment, looks a lot nicer. Mm-hmm. Antz is just, it's very weird.
But it is style choices.
Yeah.
We just don't like the production design, essentially. Yeah. But, like, it has aged pretty well. And I often will say that animation, especially older computer animation, ages better when it's stylized.
Yeah.
Like, I still think I like how Grim Fandango looks, but if they had tried to make that look realistic, it would be so dated. Like, if you compare it to Tomb Raider or something, something from around the same time with humans in it, you're like, oh, okay, that's what humans look like in CG animation at the time.
Look, Tomb Raider told us, my entire male generation, that that's what the ideal woman looks like.
A cardboard box.
Yeah, with polygonal boobs. The story, it's hard to really put these two in sort of like a linear progression.
Well, if you want to go with comparison, right? So they're both about a worker ant who kind of doesn't want to do what's expected of a worker ant.
Yeah.
And then ends up leaving the colony for one reason or another. But
their motivations are completely different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, comes back and saves the colony and has a romantic interaction with the princess.
Yeah.
And also they both, now in one case obviously this is an ant, and in another case it is a grasshopper. They have this kind of almost militaristic villain figure whose goal is to basically kill off a bunch of the ants, including the queen, and get the rest of them to form a new colony that serves him, essentially, in both cases. And then, you know, is kind of destroyed by his own hubris, and he has, like, a right-hand man who gets redeemed and helps at the end.
I just realised something horrifying.
What?
So, the difference between Z, who's, like... Woody Allen playing himself. So, neurotic New Yorker.
Also, it's very kind of Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah. It's just, like, that era of stand-up.
Yeah.
It's just the comedy. It's very... I don't think... Because I didn't enjoy it as a kid. And I think
I don't enjoy it now.
No, I don't enjoy it now. But I didn't. But like, it was aimed at children at the time, and I didn't enjoy it as a child at the time. I think because it very much is like trying to, you know, play into the kind of sitcom stand-up humor of the time that adults were into.
Yeah. And
it falls flat.
Flick, what I realized just, you know, for a second there, Flick is terrifying because one, he's an ant. And two, he's trying to progress his one ant colony into...
the industrial age.
Until the tool using, which is... There are two groups of people that are in the tool, very, very high, and it's very rare in higher apes, because orangutans have been shown to mimic humans.
Yeah.
There are some species of I think it's chimpanzees that use stone tools.
Yeah.
There are some corvids that use tools. And then in this universe, this one ant who's making full-on Rupert Goldberg-like contraptions.
I think you have to...
Take it with a grain of salt?
No, I think you have to admit, though, that if an insect started using tools, it would be ants.
Yeah, 100%.
Because ants farm.
Yeah.
Ants have invented farming.
Yeah.
And they farm aphids, and they use them as livestock.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing. And, that's kind of alluded to in A Bug's Life, because the queen has a pet aphid.
Yeah.
But, like... Or, I mean, the other one would be bees. Yeah. I could see bees using tools. But, like, ants would be the number... If insects were going to suddenly start using tools, ants would be where it would start.
Oh, we're doomed instantaneously. Per mass, ants outweigh the entire human race put together.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of ants out there, and they are intelligent. And they do... they have developed farming. It's only a matter of time before ants start using tools,
They're
really.
Possibly in or around your pants. You don't know.
They might be using tools. Do we know for sure that there aren't ants out there using tools? So, like, it's only believable because he's an ant.
Yeah.
Whereas the grasshoppers having the, like, bar that they store the grain in, some of that is...
So that's very much like stylizing, like, an idea.
Yeah.
Flick is out there straight inventing stuff, including building, like, a glider bird contraption.
Yeah.
We kind of sort of, like, gloss over the pickaxes and weird construction equipment and ants just because it is part of the stylization of it, rather than no one makes comment on the fact they've got pickaxes. And the fact
that the drones are like a military outfit.
Yeah, they've got medals and clothing and stuff. The clothing choices in Bug's Life was pretty, like, tame. It's just like a flower crown.
And the little leaf... What are they called? They're like neckerchiefs. I don't know what they are. The little things that the scouts wear.
Yeah. It'd be a neckerchief, right?
I don't know. There's probably a name for what they have. That's not one that we use.
So there is some very interesting styled things in both these movies. One is more existential dread than other.
Yeah. I do think across the board, the characters are more likable in A Bug's Life.
Oh, 100%. And
I think there are likable characters in Antz, but they're like...
Who?
Barbados.
Yes. Danny Glover's character is good, and that's about it.
I do like Christopher Walken's character.
Yeah, I guess that too.
And that is because of Christopher Walken. I'm not saying I like it because of Christopher Walken. I'm saying the character was supposed to be a tiny part, and they expanded it because Christopher Walken brought a depth to it that they weren't expecting. And I don't understand. I read that sentence and I was like, how can you cast Christopher Walken and not expect him to bring depth to the role? But that's why he ends up having a bigger role and being like the right hand man, and then eventually, having this redemption arc. So I feel like he has more of an actual story arc than any of the main characters. Yeah. But that's fine. And his equivalent then is Richard Kind in A Bug's Life. And Richard Kind, I feel like, is likable.
I want to talk about this for a second, because these movies are insane. Yeah. Like, I understand, like, there was an era where people were trying to get these voice roles.
Just the cast? The casts are
bananas. So, for Antz...
these are, for the record, these are the third and fourth computer graphic, like CGI animated films ever made.
Yeah.
Number 3 and number 4.
So you get Woody Allen playing Z, Gene Hackman playing the General, Sharon Stone playing the Princess, Sylvester Stallone playing Z's best friend, Christopher Walken playing Cutter, who's like the right-hand man to the General.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez, who's just like Z's friend who ends up dating Sylvester Stallone's character. Yeah, Danny Glover, who's fantastic. Dan Aykroyd, which I didn't remember.
Who did he play?
Chip.
Oh,
the Wasp.
The Wasp.
Yeah, as in the white Anglican Southern Protestant. Jane Curtin played the other Wasp. Grant Shawn, I don't know who this is.
It's okay, we don't have to know everyone.
And then you go to Bugs Life. Wikipedia's trying to make
Bugs
me pay
Life,
money.
Dave Foley,
Yep.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus playing Ada. Hayden Panettiere's first film was this, playing Princess Dot. Obviously Kevin Spacey playing Hopper. Richard Kind,
as you mentioned,
as his
Dennis
brother.
Leary.
Oh yeah.
As Francis.
David Hyde Pierce.
Yep.
Plays Slim. I know the cast of this one off the top of my head. Nick is looking at IMDb and I'm just listing them.
Who played Dim?
Who played Dim? He sounds like oh my gosh, I can't think of the actor's name. He plays like the guy who played Fatso in Casper, and also played Ray Romano's brother in Everybody Loves Raymond.
Brad Garrett.
It's the right actor. I had the right actor. Yes, I just couldn't think of his name.
The weirdest voice cast member in this movie for me is, I swear, where is it? Where the hell is he? I've lost it. So I was a huge fan of the show that he was in when I was a child. Why can I not find it? Who plays the praying mantis?
Jonathan Harris?
Is it right? Am I losing my mind?
The praying mantis is played by Jonathan Harris.
Jonathan Harris is the right person, right? Yes. Thank God I'm not, gaslighting myself.
What was he in?
He was in Lost in Space. He played...
Oh, in the TV show?
Yes. For 83 episodes, he played Zachary Smith.
Mm.
And it's just every time I see him on, whenever he's talking on screen, I'm just like, danger, Will Robinson.
That's fun.
Yeah.
He seems to have done a lot of voice roles, actually.
But, he stands out in the entire movie of just being, in a different movie.
Oh, yeah.
His voice performance is not what is happening on screen. He is doing the live action that there is none of.
Yeah.
Because it's CGI.
Apparently that's what Woody Allen was like.
God.
In the recording booth, the animators couldn't keep up with how fast he was talking and moving his hands and stuff.
Okay. Do we want to cover off the two problematic actors in this movie?
We can, I guess.
So, fun fact for you, if you didn't know, Woody Allen married his own stepdaughter.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Yep.
You can say a lot about him, and it's all the things he's done and all the awards he's won. He's still a creep.
Yep.
Yeah. That whole thing, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but it's very weird of just, I don't kind of understand how in any form of family structure that would be acceptable. I guess you could argue the whole Hollywood thing, but even still very, very strange.
And I think obviously there's evidence of grooming from a young age and stuff like that, so it's quite sad, but strange. In the other movie we have Kevin Spacey, who had a lot of allegations of abuse against him from particularly from young men that he worked with.
Yep.
And then he tried to, use that as a platform to come out of the closet as gay and try to claim that people were only saying stuff about him because he was gay. And then everyone who accused him or knew anything about it mysteriously died.
Yeah.
So...
There was also that weird video, which I watched several times, just trying to figure out what the hell was going on. So at the time these allegations came out, Kevin Spacey was working on a television show called House of Cards.
Yes.
House of Cards had him playing the President of the United States after being in the public party for like years, and he was pretty evil. No, he was genuinely evil in the television show, but it was sort of that very sort of Breaking Bad-esque thing where you're like, he is evil, he's morally bankrupt, but I can't stop watching him and rooting for him. There is something wrong with just everything about this.
Yeah.
Then allegations came out, the showrunners canned him, they killed him off screen, and got the wife to take over as the president and made the main role in the show. And then Kevin Spacey released a video on YouTube playing the character, but referring to real-world events. And a lot of conspiracies came out about it. Now, were the people who accused him, horrendous drug addicts, and was it, that's the other thing. And then you could go, well, maybe the drug addiction was caused by the trauma rather than, the other way round. But we don't know.
Yeah.
Because none of those people got a day in court.
No.
And Kevin Spacey's back acting.
Is he? What's he been in? I feel like he really got blacklisted in a way that most other, people talk about cancel culture and then keep hiring the people that are allegedly cancelled.
Yeah.
But I feel like Kevin Spacey was one that I really have not seen appear since. And not, I would avoid his future projects. But, it's not that I've been avoiding them, it's that I literally haven't seen or heard anything about him being in anything.
So, from 2018, he was in one movie.
Yeah.
And then in 2022, he was in two movies. But they were both made in Europe. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, he's got stuff coming out.
Oh. Is there anything I've heard of, or is it all kind of...
It doesn't look like big stuff.
The other thing about him is that, he made a video on cancel culture or whatever, and, and how it's ruined his life, and that he's now homeless and has to live in 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not homeless.
Yeah.
That's you living in 5-star hotels for some reason. If you can afford to live in a 5-star hotel, you're better off than most average people, not even homeless people.
Sweetie, we would not be able to live 365 days at a 5-star hotel.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just people who are doing you're better off than people who are doing okay.
Yeah.
Never mind the people who are struggling or the people who are actually homeless. So it's just, I don't know, tone deaf, but not surprising from Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we should move on from these guys. If you want to stay in the negative atmosphere, I could talk about how these movies got made.
Yeah, sure.
So, in 1988, this was too long for you to take down notes, so I'm literally looking at the Wikipedia. I'm not going to read the whole Wikipedia thing to you. But in 1988, there was a film called Army Ants pitched at Walt Disney Animation Studios. It was about a pacifist worker ant teaching lessons of independent thinking to a militaristic colony.
Right.
At the time, Jeffrey Katzenberg was the chairman of Disney's film division. He had a feud with their CEO, Michael Eisner, and he then left the company and founded DreamWorks.
Right.
So at DreamWorks, he started developing some projects that he had originally tried to pursue at Disney, such as The Prince of Egypt. And he wanted to make Army Ants, this movie that had been pitched back in the 80s. So once after they started making The Prince of Egypt, they started producing, in 1996, they started producing Army Ants, which then became Antz. At the same time, he was like a confidant and friend of John Lasseter, who worked at Pixar, well, who was the CEO of Pixar. Oh no, he wasn't CEO of Pixar, sorry, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was CEO of Pixar, so he was like president of Pixar? I can't remember what his job title was at the time. So they had planned to make A Bug's Life. It was originally called, I think it was originally called Bugs, and then they were calling it Bug Story, and then they were worried that people would think after the first movie was Toy Story and the second movie was Bug Story, that every Pixar film would be something story, which is why it got changed to A Bug's Life. But they had put it into production in 95 and had, put out, they had acquired, they had put out, I can't remember what it was. There's like trade papers, right? Yeah. About what they were doing, and then discovered that shortly after that Katzenberg started making Antz. So John Lasseter and Katzenberg had been friends and had stayed in touch after he had left Disney, and in October 1995, while working on Toy Story, John Lasseter spoke to Katzenberg about what he was making next, which was the film that would become A Bug's Life. And he felt comfortable using him as a sounding board for creative ideas. And then, obviously, heard the next year, hey, Katzenberg is making an Ant movie. So Katzenberg insists this was him developing the Army Ant story from years ago, whereas John Lasseter is like, hey, I told Jeffrey Katzenberg that I was making this Ant movie, and a year later he started production on an Ant movie. Yeah. That came out in the same year as my Ant movie. So this is just like crazy. And also apparently when John Lasseter found out that Katzenberg was making Antz, he asked him, was it true? And John Katzenberg's answer was, who told you? Which I think is maybe a little more telling. Also, I feel like everything I've heard about Katzenberg has been horrible. But also, I haven't heard great things about John Lasseter. Yeah. So, it's a strange... So there was a huge feud kind of between them. And I guess that kind of kick-started them becoming this, like, rivalry of big studios. And I think they came out, or they were supposed to come out on the same day. I don't remember if they actually came out on the same day in the end. Oh yeah, they were... So essentially, DreamWorks announced the date that they were going to release Antz. Yeah. And then Pixar were like, hey, we're releasing A Bug's Life the same day. So then they had to move up the production to, like, get Antz out sooner, even though it had started production later. So just crazy. Just a weird... They just wanted to get Antz out before A Bug's Life came out. So Antz did release before A Bug's Life came out, but A Bug's Life started production first. And it all was just, like, a bunch of crazy rivalries and not very nice time between them.
Despite the fact that usually when we watch these movies, it's usually the DreamWorks one that's the worst one. Yeah. But they've done a lot of good stuff.
That's not true.
Isn't it?
No, because we watched Madagascar and The Wild, and The Wild was the Disney one, and it's terrible.
Yeah, that's true. The Wild was awful.
Definitely not the truth.
Ooh, talking of awful.
But I do think beginning when you look at like rivalry between DreamWorks and Pixar was obviously, doing a better job.
So there's a scene in Antz that doesn't make any sense. And
one.
that I was audibly complaining about while we were watching the movie. Do you remember what it was?
I feel like you were audibly complaining about several things.
Okay. So there's a scene where they're at a picnic.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where they meet the wasps.
Yes, I do know exactly what you're talking about.
And the princess gets stuck to gum that's on the bottom of a shoe. Yeah. And then Z tries to rescue her by getting to the shoe. And he does this by trying to jump between shoes while the person's taking steps. Now, That's perfectly fine. If they'd animated it correctly, where they had a human, like anybody had actually looked at how a human walks before.
I will say, can I just interject here to say, I have a degree in animation. The first thing you learn is how a walk cycle works.
Yeah.
The very first thing you learn in animation is what a walk cycle looks like, how a human walks. So this is crazy to me that the first big budget CGI film made by DreamWorks, they forgot how walking works.
It's such a bizarre scene because, like, you only see maybe upper thigh before it, like, disappears into the clouds like they're giants.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense based on the size of anything else that's in the movie. But every time Z's trying to get between shoes, it's because the person's taken a step with their right foot, stopped on their right foot, which is the one with a gum on it, and then stepped up to their right foot with their left leg.
So they're level.
So they're level, and then steps off again with their right. And it's such a, like, I understand it from, like, a storytelling, but, like, you could have done it where he's, like, trying to jump when they're, like, crossing over, and it would have been way more dramatic. But it's so bizarre that you're, like, watching this movie being like, that's not how a human being walks.
Maybe there's, like, big invisible crutches that we couldn't see because they're so far away, and this person has, like, a leg injury.
Stop defending the movie.
It doesn't make any sense. It's so weird.
So what I would like you to do now is stand up and take a step, and then step your right leg out as far as you normally would, and then step your left leg to it, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And just picture ants.
And also, like,
trying to, like, jump between.
The length of the shoelace that he was hanging onto was, like, past where their foot was. So it feels like their shoe was, like, partially or fully untied as well. So, not great.
Yeah, it's very, very weird.
And it doesn't seem like this is someone was at that picnic that was there. So, like, why do they step on the picnic blanket?
Yeah, there's a lot of confusing things about it.
So if someone's walking through the park and someone else has a picnic blanket laid out, you don't tend to walk on their picnic blanket?
The other description, there was, like, places like heavens to go to in both these universes, and one of them's like, so they're on this island which is like their known universe in A Bug's Life, and an Antz, it was like insect paradise, or what do they call it, something bizarre, Insectopia, and it's literally just an overfilled rubbish, like, receptacle, and they're in Central Park in New York.
So we do get a zoom out at the end where you see the
Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers.
So Kermit doesn't exist in this universe.
So we know... No, this is 1998. So Kermit might still be... planning something that's going to happen in 3 years' time. And I can update the meme again to say 0 episodes. Since we spoke about 9/11.
And Kermit's involvement in it.
It usually is at the context of Kermit.
There's no real indication of where A Bug's Life happens. Like,
my thought is California, maybe Nevada or Arizona, because it's definitely, there's where they are, there's kind of grass, but there's also, like, desert area. But where the grasshoppers are, they're, like, up against a cactus under a sombrero. And it's supposed to be, like, Mexican whatever, but there's no way they've, like, I don't think it's supposed to be, the whole thing is supposed to be set in Mexico, and I don't think the grasshoppers flew to Mexico. So my thought is somewhere that has both desert and grassland close to the Mexican border in the United States.
Makes sense.
So I would think, California, Nevada, Arizona, or New Mexico, like, along there. I'd probably California.
Right.
Because Pixar is a Californian studio.
They're different species of ants.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're real, like, based on real species of ants.
I do know in both of them, some of the ants' names are based on different species of ants, like Atta and I can't even think of Jennifer Lopez's character's name is another species of ant, but and I think I think quite a few of the ones in ants are, I think Barbados possibly is as well. But yeah, so they like to throw that in. Also in A Bug's Life, which I have never noticed before, even though we've even watched this film before, but I obviously didn't read this trivia at that time. Most of the grasshoppers are one species of grasshopper, it's like a green grasshopper, but hopper and molt are entirely different species of grasshopper.
Interesting.
And like visibly you can see that looking at them.
Right.
Maybe it was to make them stand out more, I don't know, but they're just like an entirely different species of grasshopper, so I don't know, do those grasshoppers actually like band together at all, or what the situation is?
Because grasshoppers become locusts, right?
Are they the same thing, or are they just
two?
I think there's like
species? I think there's like a genetic mutation.
Oh, really?
When it's something to do with food?
I don't know much about locusts. Locusts are various species of shorthorn grasshopper.
Oh, so while all locusts are grasshoppers, not all grasshoppers can become locusts.
Okay.
So locusts are migratory.
Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting.
So they move around eating food.
Yeah.
So that was my headcanon.
That they were locusts.
That they had changed into being locusts, and that's why they were migrating.
But they don't change into being locusts. But they are locusts.
I thought they changed.
No, it's just
these insects.
It's just locust is just a name for various grasshopper species.
Right.
Grasshopper species that do swarm. So they're locusts all the time, whether they're swarming or not. But they are specifically grasshoppers who swarm. So that's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want to move into some trivia or?
Yeah, we can if you want. Sorry, I'm now just on the wiki page for locusts.
Yeah, I was also on the wiki page for locusts.
I'll mention, I only took down one piece of trivia about Bug's Life because I know that we covered quite a bit in our previous Bug's Life episode, which was episode 15, if anyone wants to go listen to that. So the only piece of information I took down was, just because I think this is crazy, was that, so the storyline for Bug's Life originated in a lunchtime conversation between John Lasseter, Andrew Stanton, Pete Docter, and Joe Ranft, who were the head story team of Pixar.
Right.
In the same lunch, they also came up with the stories for Toy Story 2, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, and WALL-E.
What were they eating?
I don't know. That's the most productive lunch I think anyone's ever had.
I do no work during lunchtime. That's the whole purpose of lunch, is to get away from work.
Four guys. I mean, this is like the equivalent. We talked about Tusk in a previous episode. You know that it was just a conversation between two guys in a podcast. This is the equivalent to that. Four men sit down to lunch, have a conversation, and come up with the plot of five of their best movies that they will make over the next decade.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the problem with modern movies, is that they came up with all the good ideas in one lunch break and then never and then had to, come up with, repeats of those. For Antz, I took down a little bit of info, not a whole lot. So this is Woody Allen's first appearance in an animated film. And he didn't enjoy the experience, doesn't really like the movie, but it did become the most successful film he's ever been involved in. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I've already mentioned the reason it's PG is because it has a lot of casual swearing, and that is, when it's shown on television, they often will omit the swearing in it.
Right.
Woody Allen recorded his part in 5 days.
Okay.
Which I guess is why it's all just very samey, and its character doesn't have an arc. The character of Weaver, which is Sylvester Stallone's role, was originally offered to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
But he wanted to be paid for the work, and Sylvester Stallone was willing to do it for free.
Okay.
So Sylvester Stallone got the role and did it for free. And then, as I mentioned, Christopher Walken's voice work is the reason that Cutter has such a big role. He was originally supposed to be a faceless lackey to General Mandible, but then he brought in all this extra depth, so they rewrote the character to give him, more of a storyline. That's all I've taken down. I did take down budget and box office of these movies. Have you had a look at them, or do you want
to? I am assuming A Bug's Life made more money.
I mean, you would be assuming correctly. So they relatively similar budgets. So Antz had the lower budget at 105 million, and A Bug's Life's budget was 120 million. So not far off.
Yeah.
Box office wise, Antz made 171 million, and A Bug's Life made 363 million.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah. So A Bug's Life made almost exactly 3 times its budget. Antz made 1 and a bit.
Yeah. Well, it's still
about 1.5 times its budget.
Yeah. It's not a failure, but it's also not... Like, for something they were trying out, it's not surprising. And then they went on to make some friggin' bangers, so, you know...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, there's no doubt in my mind that they had potential. They just needed time. And it's very funny to me, because I think we've mentioned this before, like, anybody who was failing, because the next sort of big movie they made after this was Prince of Egypt. Yeah. Well, they were making Prince of Egypt at the same time. Yeah. Road to El Dorado, Chicken Run, which we've covered, Shrek, we've talked about a lot. Shrek 2, we've covered. Yeah. Kung Fu Panda 2, we've covered. Yeah. They make a movie that's relatively original, and then they make a sequel that's the same as another movie. That's their MO, right? Yeah. Or else they make movies where the original is a twin film with a Disney movie. I didn't realise the live action of How to Train Your Dragon had been released. Yeah. I guess it didn't do too well. I'm going to have a look. We'll do that eventually. Oh, I was wrong. Yeah, I think it's been relatively popular. It was millions all along. I think my understanding is that is a better live action remake than pretty much any of the Disney live action remakes. That wouldn't be hard. That's very true. We'll do it eventually. We are pairing How to Train Your Dragon with another movie in the not too distant future, so look out for that, folks. I think I know what you're talking about. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, or you've, liked the cut of our jib, please go to our website, itttakes2.co.nz, where you can follow us on social media, and if you go to the splash page that states where to start, you can send that where to start to a friend, no context, 3 a.m. in the morning, because it really helps with us getting visibility elsewhere. We are doing really well. It'd just be nice if we're doing really well distribution-wise, we're just not doing well vertically. Vertically? As in more listeners. Right, okay. We're wide, we're not tall. Yes. We also, engagement-wise, we if you've listened to our bonus episode, we talked about this quite a bit, but we always like to see more engagement. So leave us a comment or, Because we have no idea. Yeah. Genuinely. Because, everyone's just like, oh, I really, I listened to your podcast. And you're like, oh, okay, what'd you think? And they're like, yeah, I really like that movie. And then you end up talking about the movie with them. Not about the context of this podcast. Not about what we do. Not if anybody cares the funny titles we make up or the amazing thumbnails that Lisa produces. None of it's brought up to us. It's concerning because we don't know what we're doing. In general, we know the A to B equals C, but along the lines of, does anybody else care? Does it actually matter? Do you look at the thumbnail and be like, nah, I don't like the text color, I'm not listening to it? The other thing is that, if people are listening to this who just listen to us on podcatchers but have never visited our website or social media, they might have no idea what you're talking about right now, because I find it very confusing when a podcast has different thumbnails for every episode, so I've left it with the cover art on podcatchers. Oh, okay. But if you look at it on our website or if you look at our social media, I do have an individual thumbnail for each of the episodes. So yeah, go check those out. Yep. And we've gotten a few comments on YouTube and on Spotify, so I really appreciate those. Yeah. Of course. And
if you want to leave more comments in those places or reviews somewhere or, interact with our social media, we'd really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.